I now recognize the gentleman from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today's hearing is yet another attempt by the majority to smear this president and his administration. My Democratic colleagues were shocked and deeply offended that he won the presidency in the first place. They're still grieving that they failed to remove him from office through their phony impeachment debacle. And now they're targeting administration officials, in this case, Attorney General Barr, for merely acting within the scope of their duties. Where was the outrage when the Obama-Biden Justice Department investigated journalists, or when they retaliated against whistleblowers, or when they surveilled the Trump campaign? It's hypocrisy, and most people are going to see right through it. It just shows that the majority will stop at nothing in attempting to distract and harass this president and his administration. Their efforts are particularly disturbing at a time when a global pandemic has negatively impacted us all and the country has been rocked by racial strife and civil unrest. There are other more important things we ought to be focusing our time and attention on rather than this distraction. Despite an exemplary record and career, Democrats are now going after Attorney General Barr. Why? Because he's cleaning up the mess of the previous administration and restoring integrity and honor to the DOJ and the FBI. Now, speaking about messes, from the previous administration, Hillary's funding of the Steele dossier and the FISA scandal led to the Mueller investigation and the waste of a whole lot of our time and taxpayer dollars. Now, Mr. Zelensky, you were part of that Mueller team, weren't you?
I was.
And that supposedly unbiased team of 17 attorneys consisted of 13 Democrats. That doesn't sound very unbiased to me. Does it to you?
I would disagree with the premise of your question. We are, as I said, career professionals. Prosecutors do our job, and we do it regardless of party or politics.
But it was 13
then,
Democrats.
now.
13 Democrats out of 17.
There's been public reporting to that effect.
All right, thank you. Former Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, your boss, I believe, testified before the Senate recently that he wished Mueller had chosen a, quote, more politically diverse group. Don't you think he has a point?
I don't think it would be appropriate to choose any prosecutor based on their politics, and that is not what the special counsel did in that circumstance. In fact, if anything, if the special counsel had tried to weigh the politics of the prosecutors when he was choosing them, that would have been far more deeply problematic than what he did, which is hiring professionals to do their job.
Coincidental, 13 out of 17. Something else I'd like to point out that I think clearly shows that there was indeed bias on the Mueller team was that as a group, they'd given $3,000 to Republican candidates in the past, but over $60,000, $62,000 to be exact, to Democrats, a 20-to-1 bias in one direction. Mr. Mukasey, let me turn to you if I can at this time. Do you believe that the Department of Justice under Attorney General Barr has become politicized, as my colleagues on the other side are alleging?
As I said, I do not.
Would you agree that Attorney General Barr has worked to root out politics, in fact, and bring transparency back to the department?
I think he has bent every effort to try to run the department the way it should be run and to conduct investigations on the merits.
Do you believe that Attorney General Barr makes decisions based upon political calculations or upon the relevant facts and law?
I believe he makes decisions based on the relevant facts and the law, and that if he made decisions based on political calculations, he would not have made the decisions that I alluded to in the last part of my remarks.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I'm almost out of time, so let me conclude with this. Mr. Chairman, this hearing is just another sad attempt by you and the majority to attack this administration, specifically the Attorney General, unfairly. And it's a shame because there's so much other important work that we should be engaged in order to unite this nation, not to further tear us apart. And with that, I yield back the balcony time.
The gentleman yields back.
Are great senators. Hi, Chuck. He used to love me when I was a Democrat, you know.